Nostradamus has predicted earthquakes, famine, war, everything that can wipe out humanity.
We're living in an age where we will see the fulfillment of the remaining one-third of his prophecies.
The name Nostradamus has come to be associated with mysticism and prophecy. He was a French physician, astrologer, and purported seer who was born Michel de Nostredame in 1503. His collection of quatrains, Les Prophéties, has enthralled readers for generations. Many attribute the revelation of important historical events to his enigmatic words. As we near the year 2025, Nostradamus's predictions, which range from the ascent of powerful leaders to the destruction caused by natural disasters, have ignited controversy and fascination. 1. The climb to the top of the world. The first prophecy of Nostradamus concerns the coming of a mysterious character, the great man from the north, who will become a prominent figure in 2025 and have tremendous influence over international affairs and the future. There are a lot of metaphors in Nostradamus's writings, and his language is notoriously vague. His quatrains suggest a charismatic leader with the power to make big changes, for better or worse. Coming at a time when populism and authoritarianism are on the rise around the globe, this prophecy takes on further significance. In the prophecy, we see this leader rising to power at a time of great public dissatisfaction, capitalizing on pre-existing social divisions. The world's political tensions are rising, making Nostradamus's prophecy look frighteningly prophetic. Economic uncertainty, societal unrest, and the rising discontent with existing political orders could all lead to the rise of a new leader. This expected leader may not only solve people's urgent problems, but he or she may also shake up established institutions, bringing about a paradigm shift in global power and government. Many in the public eye have pointed fingers at different political personalities who have shown signs of being a strongman in an effort to guess who this leader could be. Even more intriguing is the possibility that this leader has not yet fully appeared, according to some readings. This would mean that a hitherto unknown figure may soon become famous all over the world. The prophecy raises important questions about leadership and power, such as what occurs when one person gains the support of an entire nation, or perhaps the entire planet. Amidst this time of great upheaval, the possibility that Nostradamus foretold this seismic change in power dynamics is sparking debates about our shared destiny and the likelihood of massive transformation. In addition, such a rise has far-reaching consequences, which may indicate that 2025 will be a turning point in history. In their rise to power, will this leader bring about harmony and stability, or will they sow seeds of discord? The ominous predictions made by Nostradamus make us wonder how the world's alliances, wars, and power dynamics may change under this new administration. The excitement surrounding this prophecy as we near 2025 prompts us to consider the traits of effective crisis leaders. In a time when everything is up in the air, the idea of a transformational leader can either bring order out of the disorder or serve as a symbol of optimism for a more uncertain future, depending on who is in charge. 2. Stunning natural calamities. In his second prophecy, Nostradamus predicts that the year 2025 will see a string of devastating natural disasters. Severe storms, floods, and earthquakes will hit different parts of the world according to this scary forecast. Many have found similarities between Nostradamus's predictions of environmental disaster and our planet's present condition, which is marked by more frequent and severe weather events caused by climate change. His use of imagery, such as fire in the sky and overflowing rivers, adds depth to the prophecy by painting a picture of destruction and tragedy. Both the number and severity of natural disasters have increased considerably in the past several years. Symptoms of climate change, such as destructive storms, rising sea levels, and huge wildfires in California and Australia, are getting harder to ignore. Numerous people are thinking about the possibility of even bigger disasters in the future because Nostradamus's predictions about approaching calamities are so relevant to modern worries. There is a growing sense of urgency to take action and raise awareness, since 2025 has the potential to be a watershed year when the effects of our environmental neglect become unbearably obvious. In addition, as caretakers of this planet, we are rightfully concerned that Nostradamus may have predicted these occurrences. If his forecasts pan out, the year 2025 might be a watershed moment when people finally have to face the reality of climate change since they did nothing. Societies around the world are being urged to pay attention to the warning signs and take decisive action before it's too late by the prophetic vision. His quatrains, when read in light of our planet's rapidly changing climate, provide a bleak vision of what the future holds and highlight the critical importance of being environmentally conscious and practicing sustainable behaviors. The premonition of catastrophic catastrophes by Nostradamus is a sobering reminder of how precarious the ecological equilibrium is. The moment for reflection and transformation has come as we confront the prospect of extensive devastation. In 2025, we may have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to reevaluate our impact on the planet and make a lasting commitment to a greener tomorrow. In order to lessen the severity of natural disasters and encourage people to take an active role in protecting our planet, we must learn from our mistakes and confront the problems caused by climate change. 3. Revolutions in society. In his third prophecy, Nostradamus warns of global social revolutions, predicting that inequality and discontent might spark a wave of civil unrest in 2025. In his foreboding vision, Nostradamus saw a world where people's dissatisfaction boils over into a fire in the heart of cities. This image captures the essence of the rising social tensions around the world, as marginalized communities call for action to address widening income gaps. Understanding the cyclical nature and capacity to transform nations of social revolutions requires looking at their historical context, which includes events such as the Arab Spring and the French Revolution. The world now is a stark reflection of Nostradamus's predictions, with social and economic disparities standing out more than ever before. Societal divisions have been exposed by the persistent fights for economic and racial justice, providing an ideal environment for revolutionary ideologies to flourish. There is a high probability of major disruption on the horizon as oppressed communities band together to confront repressive systems. There has been a general awakening among those who are unwilling to accept things as they are, and this is seen in the growing prominence of grassroots movements. Here, Nostradamus's prophecies seem prophetic, implying that the year 2025 may be a watershed moment in the fight for social justice. It would be a disservice to ignore the part that technology played in making these revolutions possible. With the rise of digital communication and social media, Nostradamus's prediction of a new power to overthrow established order is spot on. In ways that were previously unthinkable, these tools have given individuals the power to organize, mobilize, and magnify their voices. People are able to connect across borders and share their struggles because of the quick dissemination of information, which has revolutionized the way movements are designed and conducted. In the years leading up to 2025, a new generation will be able to challenge long-standing injustices thanks to the ways in which social action and technological advancements interact. All things considered, Nostradamus's prediction of societal revolutions is a poignant reminder that the pursuit of justice is inherent to being human. The possibility for revolutionary change is tangible as communities face the burden of their pasts and the facts of structural oppression. There will be many obstacles on the road to revolution, but people will rise up and demand accountability because they want a better, more equal future. A more equitable and inclusive society will be shaped by social movements in 2025, thanks in large part to the collective opposition spirit. 4. Cyclical extremes. Extreme climatic changes would drastically disrupt Earth's natural equilibrium in 2025, according to Nostradamus's fourth prophecy. The catastrophic effects of climate change that he describes, complete with raging seas and furious winds, are chilling. The increasing amount of evidence about the accelerated consequences of global warming makes this prophecy more and more pertinent as we confront enormous climate shifts today. As a warning concerning the repercussions of environmental degradation, Nostradamus's language reveals an in-depth knowledge of the destructive power of nature. Extreme weather, including hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and droughts, has been more common in recent years. Our communities are becoming more and more vulnerable, and each incident highlights the precarious state of our ecosystems. The foreboding tone of Nostradamus's prophecies compels people to face the facts of climate change head-on. before the problem escalates into an unmanageable catastrophe. A chain reaction of disasters impacting incalculable numbers of people could ensue if environmental concerns are not addressed, as the prophetic vision foretells. The consequences of Nostradamus' prophecy go beyond simple observation as we near 2025. They urge us to be proactive in safeguarding our world. Human and biodiversity survival are jeopardized by the environmental deterioration that comes with urbanization and industrialization. We are forced to reconsider our connection to the Earth and our consumption habits by Nostradamus' prophecies of environmental chaos. In order to guarantee the continuation of life on Earth for generations to come, the demand for sustainability is transformed from an option into an absolute need. Furthermore, in light of the interdependence of all communities across the world in relation to climate change, Nostradamus' forecast serves to emphasize this point. Neglecting the environment has global repercussions that know no boundaries. They touch every person on the planet. Global governments and organizations are confronted with increasing difficulties as a result of the intensifying impacts of climate change. In order to lessen the blow of climate change and other natural catastrophes, nations will need to work together to find solutions. The time for change has come, and Nostradamus' prophecy is a call to arms for a collaborative effort. Insights from Nostradamus force us to face the unsettling realities of our environmental actions. We can no longer afford to ignore the growing urgency of making the transition to renewable energy, conservation, and sustainable lifestyles. We can start to change the course of the climate disaster that the prophet predicted by embracing innovation and making ecological protection our top priority. This calls for a change in cultural norms about human interaction with the natural world, as well as new policies. If the catastrophic climate change that Nostradamus foretold will come to pass in 2025, then this will be a watershed year for humanity, a chance to reevaluate our priorities and how we treat the Earth. 5. Ancient mysteries revealed. In 2025, according to one of Nostradamus' most fascinating prophecies, long-lost knowledge could be revealed, allowing us to rewrite the narrative of history. His references to hidden realities suggest that they may one day force us to reevaluate long-held assumptions and worldviews. There is a sense of excitement about the prospect of hidden or forgotten books being made public. This opens the door to the idea that our common knowledge of civilization may be reshaped and that historical narratives could be rewritten. The hope of discovering ancient knowledge appears more realistic than ever before due to the fast development of archaeological techniques and technology. Innovations in technologies such as ground-penetrating radar, satellite photography, and DNA analysis have given archaeologists new opportunities to investigate previously inaccessible historical sites. As historians and archaeologists continue their quests to uncover long-lost civilizations and documents that may illuminate our shared history, this prophecy fits in perfectly with their work. An exciting prospect that could change our view of history is the discovery of long-lost artifacts, documents, or even the knowledge of long-vanished civilizations. Not only that, but these kinds of discoveries could shake up established beliefs and conventions in society, so they're not just interesting from a historical perspective. Consider the hypothetical situation in which long-lost writings with instructions for environmentally friendly technology or methods of production were rediscovered. These findings have the potential to radically modify how we tackle contemporary issues, especially those pertaining to resource management and climate change. As we face the challenges of the present, Nostradamus' prophecy reminds us to have an open mind about the likelihood that our knowledge of the past is limited and that fresh insights could provide direction. The mere process of revealing these truths may cause social unrest, since long-standing institutions will have to face the facts of their own past stories. Controversies over long-held ideas have the potential to spark conversations about ethics, government, and human rights. The eternal and ever-changing pursuit of knowledge, as foretold by Nostradamus, is a constant source of inspiration and a test of our assumptions about the world. Discoveries about the past inspire awe and astonishment, while also serving as a constant reminder of the complex web of human history. We live in an information-driven and discovery-driven era where the possibility of life-altering discoveries compels us to seek out and welcome the unknown. 6. Wars of a massive scale. War on a massive scale, threatening to consume numerous countries and bring about global disaster, was another prophecy of Nostradamus for the year 2025. The quatrains he writes conjure up images of fire and blood in the sky, which may be airstrikes or aggressive military action that changes international alliances. One cannot exaggerate the significance of this prophecy in light of the current geopolitical situation, in which hostilities between superpowers have intensified. Territorial disputes, growing nationalism, and the intricacy of international interactions all contribute to an unstable climate that is ready for confrontation. Conflict is a real possibility in areas where modern aspirations and old grudges meet. Take the persistent tensions in Asia, particularly surrounding Taiwan and the South China Sea, as an example of a region ripe with conflict potential. As a cautionary tale, Nostradamus's prophecies concerning the perils of rising tensions stress the importance of negotiation and diplomacy in preventing catastrophe. The prospect of war affects millions of people's lives in real ways. It's not just about politics. There is a growing danger of miscalculation and bigger costs as nations negotiate the complexity of their interests. It would be a mistake to ignore the possibility that technical progress may affect the nature of conflict. The mechanics of conflict change, and conventional battle tactics take on new dimensions when countries spend more on military advances. There are advantages and disadvantages to the fast advancement of cyber warfare capabilities, drone technology, and artificial intelligence. We are encouraged by Nostradamus's vision to think about how these innovations will affect world peace and safety. Is technology going to be a peacemaker, or will it cause wars to break out in ways nobody has seen before? The geopolitical scene will be shaped for a long time by the responses to these questions. The threat of conflict is a sobering reminder of how precarious peace is as we near the year 2025. The prophecy of Nostradamus makes us think about our role as global citizens and the decisions we make. The significance of encouraging communication and mutual understanding among countries is highlighted by the possibility of large-scale military conflicts. The need for diplomacy and cooperation is greater than ever in a world where conflict and disagreement are commonplace. Everything that happens in the future is dependent on the choices we make now as a society. 7. The ascent of digital money. There's been a dramatic change in the financial scene, since Nostradamus's quatrains have been seen as a prophecy about the emergence of cryptocurrency. His reference to copies of gold and silver is seen by many as a hint about the impending dominance of digital currencies over fiat money. With global economies in shambles and people losing faith in banks, the trend toward cryptocurrency is more important than ever. One way to look at the possible societal effects of this financial upheaval is through the eyes of Nostradamus. New opportunities for investment and economic engagement have emerged with the advent of digital currencies, which have changed our perception and interaction with money. The traditional banking and financial systems are coming under attack from cryptocurrencies as they become more widely used. The fact that Nostradamus predicted this change shows how our concept of wealth and worth could undergo a radical shift. A new way of thinking about financial transactions may be taking place as a result of the fast development of blockchain technology and decentralized finance. This change might have far-reaching effects on global markets as we approach 2025, altering the way we do business and handle money. Important concerns over accessibility, security, and regulation have also been prompted by the emergence of cryptocurrencies. Authorities are trying to figure out how to deal with the growing digital currency industry as it gains popularity. Discussions regarding the necessity of strong regulatory frameworks that safeguard consumers while encouraging innovation reverberate with Nostradamus's prophecies regarding the demise of fiat currency. We must adjust to this changing financial landscape by making educated decisions, as there is a chance for both success and failure. Is the rise of cryptocurrency going to usher in a new era of financial empowerment or exploitation? Economic equality and financial markets of the future will be defined by responses to these questions. In the end, Nostradamus's prediction about the emergence of cryptocurrency is a sign that the financial sector is dynamic. The rise of digital currencies has prompted a re-evaluation of our monetary system and its role in society. The ramifications of this change could reshape economic systems by 2025, presenting possibilities for innovation, but also problems that need serious thought. We are encouraged to critically engage with the changing landscape and explore the opportunities it offers for a more fair and inclusive economic future by considering the potential of cryptocurrencies to challenge existing financial paradigms. 8. When the Antichrist arrives. A terrifying prophecy states that a great Antichrist would arise in the year 2025. Apocalypse was to be brought about by the third of the three Antichrists prophesied by Nostradamus. These days, when people are talking about global leadership and power dynamics, this prophecy rings true. Many political figures have been mentioned as possible possibilities in the endless speculation about this figure's identity. A potent symbol for the conflict between truth and deceit, good and evil, the Antichrist is a powerful idea. Be on the lookout for individuals who would use division and fear as an excuse, as Nostradamus warned. The shadow of an evildoer who wants to destroy society's principles follows us around like a shadow as we make our way through this complicated modern world. The figure of the Antichrist represents the threats presented by individuals who exploit power and ideology for their own benefit. Predictions made by Nostradamus make us think about leadership's moral ramifications and the value of staying true to one's principles when times get tough. As the world around us changes at a dizzying pace, the story of the Antichrist can serve as a warning to people and communities to hold fast to their principles. Furthermore, considering the foretelling character of Nostradamus's prophecies prompts reflection on the larger spiritual significance of this individual's entrance. In many faiths, the concept of an Antichrist stands as a symbol of the last great challenge to one's faith and fortitude. The need for Christians to be spiritually ready takes center stage as they try to make sense of the possibility that such a figure exists. As we face an increasingly complicated and unpredictable future, Nostradamus's prophecy urges us to strengthen our grasp of ethics, compassion, and morality. In light of the possible emergence of an Antichrist figure in the year 2025, it is imperative that we examine our shared principles and societal decisions. We are reminded that our actions have the power to affect the world around us when we strive for moral integrity and fairness, which serves as a rallying cry when times are tough. The perils of dishonesty and manipulation that Nostradamus foretold should inspire us to be unwavering in our convictions and to join forces in creating a society that is fair and empathetic. 9. Emergencies on a global scale. Nostradamus predicted that climatic change, political unrest, and economic disparity will all contribute to an increase in human suffering in 2025, leading to humanitarian calamities. A world struggling with food insecurity, relocation, and social instability may be implied by his mentions of dry land and imminent floods. This prophecy speaks to the continuous struggles of marginalized communities around the world as we face the difficulties of a changing environment and geopolitical tensions. Solidarity and collaborative action are required in light of the possibility of widespread humanitarian catastrophes. We should all take heed of Nostradamus's warnings because they remind us of our common humanity and the duty to help the downtrodden. The most defenseless elements of society frequently take the brunt of the effects of political instability and social inequity. Coming up on 2025, it's more important than ever to be empathetic and compassionate and to speak up for the voiceless. Furthermore, the foretelling of humanitarian catastrophes necessitates a reassessment of worldwide objectives. There is an immediate need to address humanitarian concerns while countries struggle with their interests and problems. The globe is becoming more and more interdependent, and Nostradamus's prophecies urge us to work together for the common good. Our identity as a collective will be defined by our ability to respond to emergencies and help people in need as we face the challenges of the future. All things considered, Nostradamus's prediction regarding humanitarian disasters is a poignant reminder of our interdependence. The moment for reflection and action has come as we confront the possibility of immense misery. A chance to reevaluate our dedication to compassion and solidarity, perhaps leading to a sense of cross-border oneness, may present itself to humanity in the year 2025. We can build a better, more equal world for everyone if we recognize our common humanity and band together to solve global problems. 10. Technological aspects. As a last point, Nostradamus hinted at the far-reaching effects of technology on culture, foretelling a day when innovations will alter the way we communicate and live. In keeping with current conversations about AI, automation, and digital connectedness, he alluded to new powers that will threaten current systems. These developments will have far-reaching consequences as our world becomes more digital. Concerns over personal data security, morality, and the essence of interpersonal relationships are heightened by the pervasiveness of technology in our daily lives. Nostradamus' vision warns us to go with care through these mazes of complexity, weighing the pros and risks of technological advancement. Is technology going to bring people together or drive a wedge farther into our communities? Technology will certainly impact our lives as we approach 2025, prompting us to consider how we may strike a balance between innovation and humanity. The revolutionary potential of technology also brings advantages and disadvantages to established systems of government and society. There are mixed feelings regarding the proliferation of digital platforms. Some see them as a way to make knowledge more accessible and useful to everyone, while others worry about the spread of false information, invasions of privacy, and spying. In light of these technical developments, we would do well to remember Nostradamus' warnings about the dangers of unbridled power. Whether technology advances towards a more equitable society or deepens current inequities depends on the decisions we make now about its creation and use. Finally, as custodians of development, we are called upon to remember Nostradamus' forecast concerning the effects of technology. We are invited to imagine a future where technology improves our lives while honoring our principles and dignity, thanks to the revolutionary power of invention. As we near the year 2025, the discussion about technology needs to shift to making the world a better, more sustainable place, where progress helps everyone rather than just a few. Bonus chapter: A Revolution in Healthcare. Along with his more famous predictions, Nostradamus also made predictions about the future of health and medicine, with some speculating that a new age of knowledge about human health would begin in the year 2025. In his works, he alludes to potential breakthroughs that might radically change the way we handle healthcare, illness management, and medicine. There is an undeniable sense of anticipation for discoveries that may change the face of healthcare due to the rapid development of both technology and scientific understanding. Finding treatments and ways to prevent diseases is more important than ever as we see medical technology advance at a dizzying rate. It is possible that Nostradamus' predictions regarding health and hidden knowledge portend new insights into genetics and individualized treatment, as well as new information about old therapeutic techniques. These discoveries could have far-reaching consequences, leading to better illness treatments and an enhanced quality of life for many people. Telemedicine, artificial intelligence diagnoses, and wearable health monitoring are just a few examples of how technological advancements are changing the health scene. We should welcome these innovations while keeping an eye on the ethical concerns they raise, as Nostradamus foretold. Let us enter this new age of health and medicine with a compassionate balance, making sure that everyone can benefit from these advancements. According to Nostradamus' prediction about the revolutionary potential of information and technology, the year 2025 may mark a watershed moment in healthcare. Bonus chapter: Healing and Harmony. As we near the year 2025, Nostradamus also hinted at the prospect of international harmony and unity, which is a fascinating aspect of his writings. Coming together to face common issues is a positive tale in a world often dominated by division and war. He wants people to work together to solve the environmental, social, and political problems that are threatening our society, and his references to healing and unity show that people have an inherent need for harmony and unity, and the prospect that they can band together to solve global problems is encouraging. Climate change, economic uncertainty, and social inequality are growing threats, making the possibility of collective action all the more important. The wisdom of Nostradamus serves as a reminder that we are strongest when we stand together in the face of hardship. Through encouraging open communication and mutual understanding, we may collaborate to find solutions that are good for everyone and help bring unity to our multicultural world. To sum up, Nostradamus' predictions are a mix of future hopes and warnings. A more hopeful future is within our reach as we negotiate the intricacies of our world, thanks to the promise of unity and reconciliation. Though formidable, the obstacles we must overcome are not insurmountable. We can build a future marked by empathy, cooperation, and common goal setting if we learn from our mistakes and put our heads together. A look into what's to come. Here we are on the brink of 2025, and the predictions of Nostradamus ring truer than ever before. The turbulent terrain we traverse today is mirrored in his predictions of world leaders, environmental catastrophes, societal revolutions, and technology advances. Forecasts like this make us think twice before acting hastily and force us to be more inquisitive about the world around us, because our actions now determine our future. We are all in this together, and the universality of climate change, humanitarian crises, and the possibility of war and peace are stark reminders of this. These predictions call us to take the initiative, to put compassion, teamwork, and collaborative action at the forefront of our lives. In the face of ambiguity, Nostradamus' words encourage us to be firm and face our problems head-on, while also calling for mutual understanding and solidarity. Our reaction to these difficulties will determine the future, even though the storyline of our planet is reminiscent of the enigmatic verses of Nostradamus. In a world when everything is up in the air, Nostradamus' prophecies are a mix of caution and hope. Let us keep an eye out for each other and work to bridge any gaps that may arise as we move ahead. We appreciate you coming along as we investigate Nostradamus' predictions for the year 2025.